Not every single fan in the Ohio State fan base is a good person or even an intelligent person. Some are just downright trolls. They're in every single fan base. And when you have a large fan base like that of Ohio State, every now and then you're going to run into some of these people. And trust me, I have. But there is not a more delusional fan base. There is not a more arrogant fan base, a pompous fan base in all of sports than the one that resides just to the north of us in Ann Arbor. That's right. They are by far the worst fan base in all of sports. But beyond that, the ringleader of that circus is up to it again. One, aka Sam Webb, or as we know him as Scam Webb, once again has put his foot in his mouth. And that is what has me bugging out this week. Welcome to another edition of What's Buggin' Boggsie. I'm your host, Buckeye Boggs, aka Eric Boggs, and this is the OHIO podcast. I've done several of these shows, and so today I'm running solo again, and I'm going to be talking about what's bugging me, and that is one Sam Webb. The guy is a complete and utter moron, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. So for those of you who don't know, and most of you who watch this video, you're going to know who Sam Webb is. He is a bought and paid for mouthpiece by the University of Michigan. There's no argument about that. That is who he is. It is what he's good at, is spreading the narrative that they want him to spread. And here's why I say he's a bought and paid for mouthpiece. I've read an article and I've done some studying about this article and verified the truth in it. Sam Webb's wife, and I will not name her name because that's not really relevant for this. She's an employee of the University of Michigan. She's actually an administrative assistant in the recreation sports department. So how much involvement did she have with Jim Harbaugh? Some say a lot, some say not that much. I don't know that, but that is her job title and where she works. Now, Sam Webb works for 247 Sports. He's a sports reporter on the beat for the University of Michigan, and you would think as a person who works for 247 Sports, which is owned by CBS, that he would have to adhere to the journalistic integrity that all others at 247 Sports seem to have to also align themselves with when reporting on the teams that they are covering. Doesn't seem that's the case with one old Scam Webb. Not much journalistic integrity at all with what he reports. And besides that, you would think that it would be a conflict of interest that your own wife works for the university that you're reporting on, but apparently 247 Sports doesn't really care about that, it seems. Although one might argue that they don't really seem to care about journalistic integrity much at all lately with some of their misinformation reporting, you might say. Either way, Sam, or aka Scam Webb, claims that he studied at the University of Michigan, that is his direct words, not mine, which you can find on his Facebook page. A deep dive into Mr. Webb's background, which was done very nicely by a gentleman known as the Oracle on 11 Warriors website, claims that Webb did not graduate from the University of Michigan. So I think it's a pretty obvious thing, or when you say I studied at the University of Michigan, doesn't say I graduated from the University of Michigan, I studied there. Well, you know what? I could go to the campus of Ohio State, sit down on campus, and I can study a manual or a book, or I can go take my Bible and study my Bible, and I can go then and put I studied at the University of Ohio State or Ohio State University. I could go up to Michigan and I could do the exact same thing and say I studied at the University of Michigan. It's not a lie, it's what I did. but I didn't graduate from there. So interesting choice of words there from Mr. Webb. So he didn't even graduate from there, and nor does he have anywhere on his titles at all of it having a journalistic degree. Now, I'll be the first person to admit I don't really care. I don't have a journalistic degree. I podcast and I write articles and I enjoy that. And I started out at Ohio State in the journalistic department. I was going to get a journalistic degree, and quickly realized after 1 year that that's probably not what's best for me. Although I enjoy it, it's not going to pay the bills, as you say. Very few people get to that level. So I decided to go a different route. So, but you'll never see anywhere where I claim to have studied at the Ohio State University. Interesting, huh? Anyways, Michigan owns the mortgage on his house that Sam and his wife live in. This is something that a lot of universities can and do choose to do for some of their employees, which again, his wife, Sam's wife, is an employee of the University of Michigan. And so one might ask if your mortgage is being paid for, or a portion of it, or the house you're living in is already bought, paid for by the university that you are covering. How much journalistic integrity is there when there's an obvious conflict of interest? The answer to that is obviously there's zero journalistic integrity. And yeah, that's a huge conflict of interest. Now, beyond that, Scam makes posts that are unverified all the time, untrue, which is feeding into the false narratives that only feed to the delusion of a fan base that continues to live off of a belief that they are better than everyone else and that the entire world is somehow out to get them. So he's just feeding into their own narratives and the narrative that Harbaugh at the time when he was head coach, and now Sherrone Moore and others at the University of Michigan want him to feed into. Now, let's have a little fun with this. That's who he is. Let's show you what he's been doing lately. That's just bugging me. All right, so here we go. Let's start with the whole cheating scandal. Who's to blame? What's going on? And instead of reporting on what was happening, how did this take place? Who's to blame? And why didn't the athletic department handle this, or why did Jim Harbaugh allow this to go on? There was a lot of, and keep this in mind, excuse making on one Sam Webb and others who are reporting for the University of Michigan and their athletic department. But yet, here's a nice little interesting article that Sam Webb was diving into. What school hired a PI firm to investigate Michigan? More on my prime suspect with a picture of one Ryan Day. Now, those of you who know this, and most of you do, know that Zach Smith started that rumor. It's true that Ryan Day's brother does work for the FBI, but that entire narrative was started by Zach Smith. And this moron picks it up, runs with it, and reports on it like he's doing some kind of investigative reporting. What? This was when I was introduced to who Scam Webb was, right here, when I saw this going on. And I'm like, who is this guy? Well, let's just keep going, shall we? I mean, there's just an entire train wreck of journalistic fails by this guy here. How about more recently? Let's just look at some of the recent stuff. How about the fact that you have a top recruit and Jordan Davison on campus for a recruiting visit? While he's on campus at the University of Michigan during his recruiting visit, he's actually liking tweets at that very time by Coach Locke at Ohio State. Yet, Sam Webb, here's his report on what happened there for Jordan Davison. Michigan knocked it out of the park once again. Once again, like they've knocked it out on the park the entire recruiting season? Are you kidding me? What? Once again? What are you talking about? You guys, you guys have 0 5-star recruits. You're coming off a national championship. And you're not even in the top 25 in recruiting, but yet you're knocking it out of the ballpark. This is just unrealistic reporting. This is wishing something into existence. This guy is such a fanboy that he wishes it into trying to wish things into existence. This is just funny. Like, we are literally laughing at you guys while this is going on. My gosh, you notice we won't be laughing at the reporting going on while he visits Oregon. You know why? Because that's a true recruiting threat right now, not what's going on in Ann Arbor. Let's keep going. How about the Aaron Dunston stuff this past week? Well, here were some interesting tweets that were brought to my attention. This was on the I think their little fan board that they have there. One of them, I'm not sure exactly which one. I'm assuming it's the one with 247 Sports there for the University of Michigan. Is as things go in recruiting, big time. Her, talking about Aaron Dunston, departure turned Day inside out, Ryan Day. He went too short on her. Even made a call to security for extra measure. Her piss ants on this board would be proud. I thought MSU folks set the standard for obsessive paranoids. Got a new king in my book. Ryan Day's paranoid. Huh. Okay. Interesting comment. Let's see how Sam replies to this comment. I heard the same thing. I received multiple calls and was told that Day, quote unquote, cussed her out and had her escorted from the building. Not true. Been reported by people who actually cover the school, who actually have journalistic integrity, who actually report the truth, whether it be good or bad, whether it be positive for Ohio State or negative for Ohio State. They report it. Their reporting says that this did not occur. So you received multiple phone calls. From who? From who? And because of those multiple phone calls, you then believe that those people are true, and then you're going to report on it. You need to actually do some real journalistic things here, Sam. Do some digging, make some real phone calls. Look, you're a part of 247 Sports. Did you bother to call up anybody from the Ohio State beat from 247 Sports who apparently are your colleagues to ask them if this was true or not? And if they said, we're not sure, we haven't heard that, maybe you shouldn't report on it like it's the truth. I have received multiple phone calls and was told that Day cussed her out and had her escorted from the building. Again, no integrity at all. Can't believe a word this guy says. It was not true. Another lie. Even your own fans literally call you Scam Webb. Check this out. James Yoder, who I'm not a fan. He roots for our rivals. He pokes fun at my team, and he pokes fun at my fan base, us. But look what he says about Scam Webb. In fact, he even calls him Scam Webb. Scam Webb continues to show how tiny his brain is. This didn't happen, and Sam is so gullible and click thirsty that he can be fooled into reporting anything that has his quote unquote sources went out there. That his sources want out there, excuse me. Interesting, huh? Very, very interesting. You would think that by this point, you would be like, you know what? I've made a fool of myself one too many times. I'm going to definitely make sure before I say something is fact, I get two credible sources. No, I didn't just say sources, two credible sources before I report on it. Now, this guy, it's even better than that because here's what really bugged me. I can look past all of those things that are quote unquote reports because I laugh at the guy. He's got no integrity, no reason to listen to him at all. None. But when you go out there and say the things that you said, which I'm about to let you all listen to, I'm going to respond. And it deserves to be called out. And so I'm calling him out. By the way, you're more than welcome to come on the podcast. I'd love to talk to you. I would love it. Check this out. By the way, he goes on the Paul Feinbaum show. Talk about two people who deserve one another. That would be these two guys, Paul Feinbaum and Scam Webb. By the way, with all the hatred that Paul Feinbaum spat at Jim Harbaugh and your beloved program over the years, the fact that you even go on his show shows me who you are as a person. Crazy to me. All right, listen to this. Here's Scam Webb on the Paul Feinbaum show.
I think Ryan Day is a walking excuse. He may not say it explicitly, but the vibe he gives off, the vibe the fan base, I think parrots for him is that there's always a reason that they haven't achieved championship success. There's a reason that Michigan is beaten up on them the last 3 years, and it's everything but Michigan was just better. You know, it was they just the elements the first year weren't to their favor. It was you had a few bad plays with a new defensive coordinator the second year, and last year they want to put it on the signs, even though the sign stealer guy wasn't around the second half of the season. So, no excuses this year.
No excuses this year, huh? Just making up excuses. That's all we do as fans, right? Making up excuses for Ryan Day. Well, first off, who was making up excuses earlier? That was you, big dog. You were making up excuses. You've been making things up for years. Literally, making them up. Feeding. Oh, I have sources that are telling me this. Vet your sources. You have swung and missed so many times. You are an automatic out. When you come up to the plate, coming up the bat, Scam Webb. You're batting ninth, by the way. You're probably the last guy on the bench. There's no one left to bat. The coach has to play you. That's who you are. You are an automatic out. Literally, pitcher. Throw it down the middle. Throw strikes. He can't hit. Swing and a miss. That is you. Every time, Mr. Excuse Maker. And you want to say we're making up excuses for Ryan Day. Most of this fan base wants Ryan Day fired if he doesn't win the game. Hello? That's not excuse making. That's called passion. So get out of here with this, we're making up excuses. Those are what you want to hear. You want to hear those things. That is you. That is you making those things up, not this fan base. Making up excuses for Ryan Day. Incredible. Incredible. You, my friend, are literally why we call you scum. You are the gum that someone chewed up and spat out that we happen to walk on and you cling onto the bottom of our shoes. That is you. Zero integrity. Zero facts given in what you report. Literally, your wife works for the University of Michigan. And you will literally just hook your mouth up to the hose that's draining from the septic tank of that athletic department while you scream, "Give me more, give me more." That is why your own people in your fan base, when you have anything to say, turn their heads in shame and embarrassment, because you, my friend, are a disgrace to the University of Michigan. And that is coming from an Ohio State fan, my friend. Bad. Bad. Really, really bad. That is you. You like this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know. If you're a Michigan fan and you actually agree this guy is terrible, let us know in the comments below. If you're a Michigan fan and you disagree, you are a fan of one scam Webb, pat yourself on the back. You, my friend, are also the last draft pick. You are the kind of person who doesn't get picked when playing dodgeball in high school. You are the last guy chosen. That is you. Pat yourself on the back. Go give yourself a hug, you wallflower. You're why this guy even has a job. And so if you want to make a comment and give me your coin as well, by all means, we appreciate that and we will laugh at you as well. My friends, we go live every Thursday night for our call-in show at 8 o'clock Eastern. We go live every Sunday night for our roundtable discussion at 8 o'clock Eastern. Feel free to join us and take part in the chat, or feel free to call us on Thursday night and take part in the conversation as well. Check out our website, theohiopodcast.com, for news, notes, articles, schedules, rosters, etc. as we prep for the 2024 football season. And we are starting our team previews beginning with Illinois this week for the Big Ten. They will be number 1 of 18 as we work our way towards getting to the start of the 2024 season by previewing each and every single team in the Big Ten. Make sure you check out those videos and all the videos. And if you haven't already, subscribe, ring the bell, get notified. And if you really enjoy the content, by all means, become a member. It only costs $3.99 a month. Hit the join button on our YouTube channel. That'll make sure that you can sign up for a member. You'll get a free t-shirt after you've been a member for a month. And you can get behind the scenes content that is just for you, as well as free shipping on items purchased from the store over on our website, theohiopodcast.com. We also have a merch where you can get this hat. Those don't have free shipping with your membership. That is because we partner with Campus Sideline, who's created awesome merchandise for just the OHIO podcast and all of our listeners. Till next time, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH, sing Carmen Ohio with all your heart. Go Bucks.